watching the FN. Okay, who's that, Mike? We're watching FNCS. I'm sorry, I'm gonna shut up now.
What?
Yeah, shush, Owen. We're watching FNCS finals.
Okay.
I'm streaming as well, so. Yes, come on, Pyro. You can speak, just not too
No one
loud.
cares if you're streaming, speak your mic, guys.
I'll kick you, Clip, so shut up.
Well, I do care if you're streaming, because you wouldn't like if someone swore in your stream, would you?
What the?
People are trying to watch.
I wouldn't care, so fuck.
Oh my god.
I'll just mute him. He can still hear me, but...
He said fudge, by the way, so...
Just don't speak when we come in knowing that, alright?
I won't. I'm being quiet now. I'm like...
Yesterday was literally like a little taste of that, right? And we've seen these pockets of people already setting their eyes on grand finals today.
Oh, Mr. Savage called. That's nice.
I mean, there's no way of knowing. Will someone break away and hold off strong? Will people go head to head and kind of pull each other
Obviously,
back?
I would have called though.
Someone will cross the finish line. No way of knowing, guys. This will all unfold before our very eyes.
Yeah, I mean, Zeke usually asks me the question, who do you think is going to win? I'm going to answer it before you get to ask any one of these 100 players because they all deserve it, 100%.
How'd you get there?
I'm serious.
It's at the big screen, look on the map.
Okay, where's the grapplers?
Dunno.
There they
Oh,
are,
this
found them.
guy's throwing this kid right there.
100 is going to be walking away the winner, the champion. That is just mind-blowing.
Come on, one sec.
I think Clicks is gonna win. I don't know.
75 would fall. Now it's the 99 that will not make the cut. With that being said, though, let's take a look at a replay that has led us to this point.
Yeah. If you haven't joined us on the broadcast just yet, there was 4 heats to play through. Each of those had 100 players. Top 25 moved up from every single one of them. We're watching the winner of heat number 1.
This is sick.
Oh, yeah, sit next to me.
Surprising fashion, coming out from behind and dueling a lot of
I'm gonna go up here because it's better angle.
with style, winning a game with
True.
something like 5 eliminations and then taking the lead from there and being consistent all the way through. That's why I advise is certainly somebody to pay
Sorry, I can't see the screen.
Yeah, the name to remember is Wade Advise, especially anyone having Wade in front of their names. But just look at the way he broke down every game. It wasn't something under control for him at all times. It was always back against the wall, but always found a way through to win every single time.
And he was doing
Oh,
it against
nice.
players like Clement, who are going to be here today. But moving on into Heat 2, if you missed that one, this was electric. This was fantastic. We already talked about Tayson's back-to-back, but he did it again with style, too. That's why we have to keep...
Oh, this kid's sitting on... You're sitting on a chair.
There's some interesting things about him. We saw a sneak peek about that landing spot, and that's where our previous
Ooh, nice shot. This guy's good.
Invitational Solos champion came from. His dual partner, Janice.
Janice is playing today too, so these guys will have to face off against each other at the same drop spot in the same end games, and it's unpredictable as to what will actually end up doing.
There's another player too in that heat. It was Kinzel. They ended up dueling. Also somebody who came out of Steamy Stack, so we'll have to keep that in mind. But moving into Heat 3, this is something that caught a lot of people by surprise. Why? Because X-Weez, while he has been pretty consistent overall, his placements in FNCS and other tournaments like that, nobody expected what he did throughout the call. A second place on day 3, into a first place on day 4, into a first place in the heat yesterday.
The most surprising performance by far, absolutely, and the most impressive in style. XP's always puts themselves into positions where he can show his flair, show his aim, and give us a good insight to what shots he likes to take. All these shots always culminate to a win. Just look how fast he is past edits, landing the bullets that he needs to land to be able to get eliminations and then win games close range.
Jesus, this guy's popping off.
Back, and he did this in multiple.
He is cracked.
And that's not all. While X-Weez might have dominated his heats, there's still one more. To find the last 25 players, we had to go through one of the most difficult ones overall. There was players like Mongrel in the next heat. There was players like Reason, and those two have been going back-to-back against each other for quite some time, starting from the day one 3 weeks ago. But Reason showed up again, and even though they dueled and took first and second in this heat, Reason seemed to come out far
Wow,
ahead.
one girl
I'm
came
changing that
second.
heat, and for one reason, I think, no pun intended, the Holly Hedges uncontested drop spot.
Yeah, with no one fighting you down early game, you have a huge advantage on playing the rest of your game out, going for positions, going for wins. That being said, though, Reason and Mongrel are going to be able to battle it out once again here today in these grand finals, and it's the final round for these guys to wrap up their story.
Be quiet, we're watching something.
Reason, he did win back-to-back in heat number 4 yesterday against players like Letwick, who had even Kit Shockwave launcher to try to put him down. He does not care and will go for the biggest streak of 2 back-to-back games in terms of eliminations and wins. So that total amount of points, ridiculous from Reason. We'll have to see if he's in form today.
That's the biggest question across the board, right? Who is in form? A lot of these players, they already know the field. They've already scouted each other's out. And just like we've done our research, they have too. Now the question is, who will hold strong and who will walk away the champion? With that being said, guys, it is time to get into the first game of the day here in EU.
I wonder if you guys can hear it.
Over to our casters. We've got Sundown.
First game. I might start our live actually. One sec.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
I'm gonna go on YouTube and see if my stream.
welcome to the first game of the FNCS Grand Finals in EU, and I hope you got your popcorn ready, whether it's literally or the emote in Party Royale, because this game is about to be a blast.
I am ready for seeing
Yeah.
all the action unfold. I hope everybody's got their favorite emote out, whether it be take a seat, whether they're with their postings out.
Maybe
ready.
not,
I know
maybe.
you're ready, Sundown. It's gonna be amazing.
I'm gonna mute clips.
Enough from us. Let's take us into game number 1. The analyst that set it up so well. Shout out to Zeke Bala.
Who do you think is gonna win?
But now
Oh,
we're
hello
into
to the
match
person who's
number
watching.
1. This is it. 6 games to decide who will walk away with that Axe of Champions. Who will be the top player in arguably
Stop my
the
live
most
stream.
competitive region in
Same.
Fortnite. It does have the most participants, and there's $800,000.
This is the actual game now.
Here, and here's the initial
$1,000 well.
No, it's $80,000.
Thinking through to where they planned on
First
dropping
place,
3 players
like,
in play.
Jesus, that's a lot.
I think only 1 or 2 players there in Caddy Corner. The 4 in Lazy
80K.
we've seen time and time and again from Europe, and of course we've got
I'm the
Rezon
best
and Holly
pickaxe in the
Hedges,
game.
and it seems like he may be alone.
Wait, let me switch my controller real quick.
coming out as well.
Can't believe Unknown won it last time.
Look at some of those early game drop spots, both in I'm assuming now in the grand
I think
finals.
Clicks is winning it. Clicks are bigger.
Really far away from it.
Oh no, the
That
broadcast will be
bottom
stopped.
right-hand corner on the
I'm
map,
it.
not a single
Okay,
try
nah, it's through that.
remotely close to him, representing another player. That's because he's
Get out
done
of the way,
such
Recon.
a good job over the course of the entirety of this tournament to stake out the claim, and then also getting a nice little branding him the legendary burst AR, and he's set to go now. He can begin his rotation and head to center zone. He has the
I'm some high.
We've seen him execute
So,
so well.
I won't be talking very much.
To now just farm the material
Just to watch.
position into the
Still.
mid-game. However, we've seen him go
Oh, by the way, go
aggressive
subscribe to XX Deadshot. So, is that his name?
Yeah,
Yeah, XX is for exits.
go subscribe to MLY Laayton.
To go wrong in game number 1, because that sets the pace of your game going forward. Whether you get out to a head start or whether you get to climb your way back from an unfortunate.
But I would take that pack
Might
right
just recommend
now.
reading
In on the other side of it.
so I don't see myself.
He took it.
So yeah, you can look at
what
from
we just saw on Rezon.
side.
But someone that also did very well in the qualifiers. Came out, I believe, got a second place there in one of the days. Got that sniper on the territory, and he's looking. He's peppered up. He's looking for an elimination. I think he's gonna be able to catch this play off guard. Snipe's gonna come through. He's gonna wait, and he does.
Ooh.
Ardent's gonna go down. Elimination comes over for him.
Brilliantly done there by hand to set
That was
up that ambush
nice.
on the side. We've talked about it time and time again how you need to be careful, but in the early game in particular,
Is this Europe, this one?
hard to really know
Yeah,
where
Europe
they
Cup.
are, keeping track of them. If somebody does get that first shot down and you're not able to react, it can be game ending and go. so hard to 0
Did it just crash for you as well?
back and watch everyone else have fun while you're
Did it
sitting there
did it
waiting
just
for the
had a mini
that
disconnect
will
for
pop
you?
on board. And Candy, who's going to be in the exact same situation as
Did for
LeBron,
me.
turns that one around. And someone who's really been playing.
I need to change my controller. Okay, I'll start a live stream in a second. I need to change my. Okay, I'll be back in a minute stream. I can't. Yeah, okay, I'll see you in a minute stream. I'll start a new one in about 2 seconds.
It seems like almost every single qualifier, so it's really good to see consistency being rewarded, especially with the way the format is. The format rewards those high-placing, high-consistent games. So if you're able to get to top 15, top 25, top 10 every single game, you're going to start to make your way to the top of the leaderboard.
And that's what the goal is for the end. We talked about so much yesterday how it's, hey, top 25 is all that matters. Well, here,
And then I want to
everyone
start the
wants to be number
broadcast.
one. You have to walk away with that top spot. It's a solos competition if you want the grand prize in the Axe of Champions and all the clout that comes with saying, hey, I am the best player in my region after the weeks of qualifiers. And then comes
That's
down
better.
to Mr. X, who had a beautiful run yesterday to even get him here. The miracle back-to-back-to-back eliminations, but now under pressure from Rifle, going to get in directly on top of him, but sticking straight to the straight to the
No! How did he miss all of those shit?
early game fights,
Shots.
he just had the assault rifle and the SMG, opting to stick with the AR, and I think that
I might mute all your guys if you're not. Alright, listen,
slightly
not
more
mean,
damage than that
mean.
situation. The
Just that I
rifle
wanna
comes through and punishes.
watch that through the streams with it.
And it was such a good call that Siphon was just the difference maker once that elimination came through. You see now on another engagement, it's between Wolfies and Maestro. Maestro running off this side on the front foot. The pedal is down. Maestro wants to just continue to push down. Shots go through. He's getting back to the wall. And Wolfies is going to go down.
Wolfies.
That was a huge
Hello?
pick up there from Maestro. Wolfies, who was the
I'm in first
Wolfies.
person because I found this spot in this rock, so I'm in first person watching it.
He's a young player from the UK, but when he's put on the back foot, it can be a little bit challenging there. Maestro
How?
did come through, got dropped down to 48.
Let me see.
Look, Ryan. No, because you're not going to let me have it. There's a different one on the left side. Like the same spot, but on the left.
50 HP or 50 shield back.
Oh yeah, I see it.
When you end up needing, it prioritizes health first, and then they will also drop all of their materials, all of their loot, and
I haven't seen any like people that I know. I know Mr. Savage called.
15 builds that you can go over and sweep up. That ends up being really key, particularly in the mid and the late game now. As I'm
We
going
got
here with
good.
Ventex, who takes two
Pardon?
really big shots and is put on the
This
back
guy's
foot.
dead.
Yeah.
He is, but luckily enough for him, Crash does not have any shield pop. Now, it's not going to be as good as he is going to be fine.
How much on I bet he's no
Get those
scoping him?
goodies in that big shield pop. And NK over there needs to find an aggressive push into the box. He needs to catch him off guard. If Ventex is not able to get this med kit off, it does not look well for them. But it seems like the med kit will be popped, so he does get back to fighting HP. Under 15 HP is enough to withstand some shots. His is now on the back foot. That's exactly what he needed to do. He needed to turn that defense that he was waiting on into that offensive moment. And
He's
now
actually
Prez is
thrown
in
that.
a very bad situation. 6 builds remaining. No HP to really work with. He's going to have to hit a really big charge shot there. Dana coming through, not going to connect on these shots. He goes to the box, but Precious hits the shot, and that's another elimination for him.
Oh, he did. He
And you
did
talked
die.
about it. He needed to hit that big charge shot, holding it up.
I think yours has a delay compared to
Particularly
mine.
when you see two players box to box fighting with charged shotguns. It's really difficult if you're not able to get that finishing.
Oof.
blow
Are we in
right away,
pod chat?
Like no luck Nebby does there, finding.
No, because you can hear it better in game chat.
Oh, Nebby, what?
Bro, he just snapped 2 people.
Nebby showing the power
Yeah, I
of
saw
the
that.
hunting rifle, showing
Damn.
up, catching 2 players on the outside. However, look in the bottom right hand corner, a 3rd player is now rotating by. So can Nebby get all of these resources and get out without getting engaged on? But those are 2 monstrous shots. It's gotta be
I hate
possible
how it
there,
lags
and
like that.
Definitely not
Yeah.
living up to his name. Plenty of luck going on.
And you think the words from my mouth.
What happens if you pop off, get like 20 kills, and then that glitch just happens in replay? Like, just imagine.
I think 20 kills is a cap.
Yeah, but still.
But I'm gonna go grab Lolly real
Oh, there's a
quick.
guy that won last seconds, yes.
1 sec.
Now he is going into the orchard, which does allow these campfires and the apples that drop that give you 5 HP per consume. He's going to be in a good spot. He's able to really farm up. But Janice drops Stevie stack, and look at his medal count. It was only 97.
No.
Amanda,
This guy won
Stevie
last
with a
7th,
90
yes.
Medal is not what he's used to, and this is definitely impacting
And his
game.
controller.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough there. Also, tons of players will know where he is, stoking that campfire, putting off the smoke signal. You can see him, those apples dropping, but instead opting to burn the extra wood. Good trade-off there and good awareness of where he was on the map. However, you do see Spen is lurking and trying to catch out the FNCS Invitational winner here. Dennis over on the side, and he does gets him real quick. That's the problem. Again, we talk about it, the hunting rifle on the side. If you're not ready for it, it can be a game ender right there.
I'm watching all of this.
Farming. And honestly, I think that's a little bit on Janice there. You don't want to be on the edge of the zone and caught gaining materials. Like, yes, you did just get in. You can feel safe. You're back up at that 100 health, 100 shield threshold. But you have to know other players are rotating from that side and going to be behind you. And Spen is actually going to get harassed there as he tries to rotate out. We're going to hop on over to a three-way fight going on.
I'm back.
Already down to just 2 players. Getting into the boxes and getting the shots, being up 2 eliminations back to back. Flecken gonna fall there, and these are what you need to do in solos. You need to get into the box and you need to do these eliminations quickly. Because like we saw, if you come and you fight and you box fight and you build fight, and more people are gonna come and they're gonna realize that, and you are going to fall. So very good play there from Controller.
And so far, it's been the story of the third party. You hear players talk about it all the time, whether it's your friend or your favorite streamer. That third party is the extra player who comes in. So if you're taking a 1v1 and somebody else rotating by says, oh, you guys are preoccupied. First,
people think that we're like 5 years old.
2 shots there, then Controller closing it out.
Why?
With that epic tactical
Oh, this guy's capturing
be on
someone,
board
I think.
here with Ovation Orion.
He's in KNB actually.
Pull off a number of plays, but again, really good at kind of those amber style tactics.
I mean, I don't blame him.
Here, trying to set up a little bit on this player who's rotating in front of him. You can see the map in the bottom right hand.
Who would want to fight?
The next storm zone revealed, so you can see we're pulling a little bit central. We're just kind of south.
Was that guy cheating?
Just over the authority. There's a little bit of a southwestern side there, so most of the players will have time. The Slurpy Swamp players with tons of priority. And Storm Surge has just turned on, which is something you might not be familiar with if you're watching there. So Storm Surge is actually on in every game, but is only activated when you're above a certain number of players left. That number of players for the third zone is 70, so with 83 players currently
Storm
left,
Surge.
13 will be impacted. What it does is those who haven't done enough damage to the opposing players will then take 25 damage every 10 seconds. So try and encourage a little bit of active play, which we see here from Orion taking out Queasy. Who's going to be queasy about that, just being game ended right there before the rotation occurs, not picking up any points in that one.
And what a smart play. He went in different angles and didn't just crash right off the top, because he knew Queasy would have been expecting that, and found an angle, got in the box, got the elimination. That also, with Storm Surge, it causes people to make plays like that. Arion may have decided that, you know what, a couple tags were good, I'm good to go, move on. He put him pretty high up in the Storm Surge, but he didn't want to take the chance. He wanted to make sure he was above at least 100 damage on the threshold. So he decided, I gotta go in, I gotta get in the box, because when Storm Surge starts hitting you, nobody's gonna let you shoot them. No one's gonna let you even look at them. They're gonna be sitting in their boxes, they're gonna sit there and wait. And not even open windows, not even make any movement, because they know, hey, that guy's getting hit by a big turtle.
Wait, this guy's so loud, I'll mute him.
We can't attack him. Well, all of a sudden, Phoenix is actually going in, but maybe a little bit of a misplay as he gets eliminated.
Gets punished right away, and Tigwe has everything you could possibly
We're spectating people that I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know any of these people.
The epic tactical shotgun, the epic burst AR, crash pads, one with shield, so Phoenix might have felt a little pressure to go in and create some space, but Tigwe punished very succinctly there, as now we swing on board. Milan, Seventor, Kiko, and Anas all directly on top of each other. They become legends. Anas has played incredibly well. Clement also joining in on the party, and this is what we talked about, that Storm Surge. All the players who below, Anas being one of them, are going to be forced to find tags. That damage is going to start coming through. He's going to need to convert on it, and he converts brilliantly there, picking up Supremacy's Clement in #1 elimination, and also closing in on that first placement threshold play.
It was such a beautiful play by Anas, because he knew Clement had that bush. He said, you know what, he's going to go for the pickaxe. I'm just going to go ahead and edit that wall out so he can get the initial shot, and that got him the elimination. That initial shot there gave him the damage.
My guy's got 5 peppers.
And with that rare tactical shotgun, it does a lot of damage if you're able to hit all the pellets. And that's exactly what he did. Now on his
why didn't he pop all of them?
The pepper placement threshold just came through as well, and now he's moving in. He's got a very great loadout to secure himself a very good placement here. And we know Anas is very, very capable, like we talked about. And he's already stalking another player. He's looking to take down AX Controller.
Yeah, and that's controller 007 from the FNCS Invitational. We saw him have a number of really solid performances. Still need 3 players to go down from that Storm Surge special, but Anas just trying to kind of follow in this rotation path, get as close to the center of zone. So if you're kind of new to watching competitive Fortnite, joining for the first time on Party Royale or Twitch or YouTube or Twitter or watchfortnite.com, what do you care about as you're watching this game as Anas will take it down, or what are you looking for? Mongrel and Thomas HD also picking up eliminations to put us below the Storm Surge threshold. The first thing is whether or not opponents are picking up, people are picking up eliminations. You can see that to the right of the player's name. It's right next to kind of the little mark there. And that, as they go through. Additionally, you're worried about them picking up placement points. In this format, the first one occurs after 25 players have gone down, then the next one occurs after 50 players have gone down, then it's every 10 and 5 players. So when somebody ends up falling in 41st, or 31st, or 26th, that's a huge changeover. But now, during the middle part of the game, as everyone's rotating through, what they're looking to do is establish space for themselves, make sure they're safe, and then find tags so they're not threatened by that Storm Surge that we were talking about ahead of time. Because now we hop on board here to MCS Squeezy, who has placed top 25 in 78% of his games this FNCS, best in the EU, and that's something to contrast with the fact that he also plays really aggressive in the early and the mid game. If he gets caught out, he's able to convert. He's had some of the highest elimination totals throughout the entirety of the FNCS club.
And I was going to say, I'm surprised he's not going into this player's box. They're literally just fishing in front of him. Someone else tried it, and he's waiting. You can tell he wants to get into this box. As soon as he sees that player start to make moves into the other box, or maybe he finds out exactly where they are, he wants to go in. But he's got Letwick right above him, so you can tell he's being a little bit more cautious this time around. In the heat and the qualifiers, he knew he had a little bit of leeway after that great performance that he had. He was able to play a little bit more aggressive and still get top 25. Which is insanely impressive. Now, the biggest impact of the game right now is going to be this hit shockwave launcher in Thomas HD's inventory. He's already got the elimination. He's also already near the next zone. He doesn't have to rotate very far, which is really good for him because he only has 94 materials.
He only has 94 materials, and he's right by the priority on high zone. This is the 4th zone, which means the last safe zone that's
I'm just gonna mute myself so you guys can
inside
watch
the current safe zone. After that, the
quietly.
will be the half in, half out, which kind of signals the transition into the end game as Thomas helps end Sebi's game there. He's going to be sent back and have to queue up after that, and Thomas hits him with a favorite emote. Hey, if you got that emote and you're in Party Royale, mimic it right now. Let Thomas know you're with him and sending him the aid because he has a really good shot to ride this game out with where he's positioned, because after the 4th zone, you don't want to head super central. So all of a sudden, if that half in, half out zone pulls to the south and is on this high ground, and he has all the shockwave launcher plus a launch pad plus the mythic charge shotgun, it's going to be really difficult to force him out of a priority position. He's going to be somebody to watch over the course of this game who's going to impact the other players around him.
And he's already doing that just like with his AR. He impacted Sebi. He's going to take down passive. And this is very, very good for him because he doesn't have to go too aggressive to get these eliminations. They're kind of being handed to him here as he's just taking a grasp of his surroundings, looking at every possible angle and getting eliminations. And speaking of that, Mr. Savage going to pick up an elimination there onto Verstrokey.
Yeah, and you can see that action kind of being driven as players are forced to rotate in and start to get priority position, because it's not only just about being safe here, it's about establishing yourself for the next rotation, because that half in, half out is so important in terms of priority. But right now, Reason is 5 below the damage threshold, so once this zone clears, he'll start ticking. You want to keep an eye on the top left and then the bottom right hand corner. That number will need to drop down to 50 players before Storm Surge turns off, and if anybody we're watching is below the threshold, they'll start taking that 25 damage every 10 seconds. And Reason just able to get himself above it with a nice tag there, and he's starting to get aggressive. We talk about the utility of the crash pads. We saw it in the package beforehand in Ball and Child. Talked about how good he can be aggressive on the low ground, and he gets Heatsy there, which is a huge elimination as well, because he pulled that half in, half out zone we talked about. Everyone who banked on it being up on the high ground saying, hey, if it pulls up here, I can win the game. Well, they were wrong. It pulled away from them, and they'll be the ones who have to rotate. as we hit top 50, meaning Storm Surge turns off, second round of placement points goes through.
Who do you think's winning?
Everyone is going to be rotated.
I think it's Clicks. Is he even in it though?
Waiting with that edit open, he was looking
Oh.
for any possible angle.
I think
to
it's
take
the
that elimination.
MCS guy
Lois
then.
as well. He's kind of fashioned himself a little bit of a base here that's got these.
Oh, he's
pyramids
Benji in
a
it.
nice way so we can see down on players rotating.
Nah, Benji
And this
can't
is
even
where you
get
wanna be.
first
You do
in
go half and half out. You wanna be
solo
looking for
tournaments. I
players.
don't
You
think he
wanna
can
be
get
exposed
first.
because
Oh,
obviously
Mongrel just
you
got a
can
kill.
try
Mongrel
like
just got a
Lois
kill.
might do here. Some people, Mongrel picks up
Ooh.
elimination as well. So he's still here, and this game is still fighting as well. And
Yeah, probably
Lois is trying
Mongrel,
to smack
Benji.
somebody out of the sky and was not able to hit it, but a valiant effort.
Valiant effort, but just a little wide. Might have given him a haircut, but not going to connect. No Storm Surge tags to play there. We see Kami pick up a huge Elan. Lois trying to get involved here. Finds the first pack shot. Gets the
Nice.
second onto Vadil, who had picked up Savage. So Savage, again, going
Oh, I just
down
killed
early,
Mr.
only picking up
Savage.
an Elan and the 2 placement thresholds. 3 points for him there. As we continue through, you can see Flois and Scrib still in. Felix as well. Skype, one of the now veterans, and they call them boomers in the lobby. 3 players in EU are 20 years old, and that is the oldest players who are in the match. But Skype has been around and qualified for nearly every one of these finals. We're hopping on board here with Quartz Froggy, who had an absurd, just absolutely gross run in heat number 2 to qualify himself. Pushed himself, I believe it was like, I think it was like 19 or 20 points in the final game to get on the day. No eliminations, but a decent loadout as we now transition into those fully moving zones, which means all the safe zones are outside, completely away from the current one, and everyone is going to have to move if they want to avoid that storm damage.
And luckily for him, it seems like it's pulling towards him, so he doesn't have to invest those crash pads right away. He can look for eliminations. You see he's thinking the code allows him that opportunity to find these rotations as well. You see just bouncing away through the crash pads. Doesn't have to worry about it. A squeeze is going to fall there in the feed. That's an important one to note there because we talked about, we hyped him up, falling down before that 40th placement threshold as well. He's not going to hit on a lot of points. Question is, how many points can Froggy end up on? How many points can the rest of the lobby end up on as this game continues to go on? We see Kiriachi, we see Mongrel, we see Letwig there in your screen as well. And Froggy looks to have taken high ground with that. The shots go through. He's going to get that player down in low
Get that, yes.
He's going down. What a huge pickup there by Froggy, but he's not done yet. There's another player on the other side.
I don't
So he does disengage, so he does have time to build around with and to just drop down layers if he wants to. It seems he's intent on focusing around.
Yeah, and Benji
voice.
is also picking up a pair of Elims there in the feed as
Ooh,
we close in
Benji
on the
got a
next
kill.
placement threshold. It'll be top 30, and then every 5 players going down. Storm Surge will also turn off his top 30, and we're closing in on it. There it is. Scouts picking up a pair to make sure he gets there. That's ADN and Diablo, who we saw yesterday going down. Thomas also goes down, and then Become Legends Rifle picks up Benji.
Why are they
Fisher, but
watching
Septos ends
Benji
up
or something?
getting Skype as well going down there. Lexi picking up Styler, but we're still on board here with Quartz
Lexi.
Froggy, and we saw how much
Nice.
work he can do on the mid-ground tarp here, and he's continuing to run through
Lexi's
with that
playing.
charge shotgun. Picks
Mr.
up
Savage
Scouts
died
as
when
well,
you were
and
gone,
aim for
Clips.
another placement threshold. So this is what happens as we start getting in the moving circles. All the action for, so keep an eye. Flois all the way up on the high ground. Kiko has priority on the low ground, and then everyone else in the tarp in between. But Hen
Where's
and Reason
Benji?
are still up on the mid tarp.
I think Flois was able to pick up that shockwave launch.
Mongrel's
He may have
alive.
used the crash pad to take it, but
I don't think
Mongrel
Benji's
is gonna fall
alive.
there on the backside. Rezon still in this game. The eliminations hit. Thing on 4. Crash pad will come out here for him. He does have a
We've been
lot of
watching this on
materials left.
YouTube.
Carrot picking up 3 eliminations there on the backside. As shots come through onto him, he is going to be able to block it
why
off.
is my
And
guy
the
fishing
capitalization
me?
there on the Stacey will be good. As
Yeah,
you
he pulled me
realize
out my
already
spot.
losing a
Same.
team, going to take down a player there.
Got that
as well.
charge?
Not
Oh.
gonna fall. Lois does have
Mongrel's at
the
height.
crash pad. Maintain high ground, but Bad Sniper coming up. Deceptor's
Maybe
coming up
this
as
will be
well.
the
Everybody
season 9
is going
again.
for high ground. Rezon
Go on,
just trying to
Mongrel.
make it through.
I see Jack's name on
Everyone
like my
pushing for
screen.
the high
It's
ground right now,
annoying.
but not necessarily paying attention to what's going down the low ground where people are cleaning up.
Oh,
on
what is this
eliminations.
kid
Your
doing?
Flois in your top right, Froggy in your bottom right.
Wait, does
everyone else
Mongrel
on the
have
wide.
thingy?
You see Flois
Chop
is
leaf?
up on that ultimate high ground.
No.
Deceptos in hand,
That's
down on
Flowy.
that low ground with Reason. just
Flois,
above them.
whatever you call
Froggy
him.
waiting
So if
for
this
his
kid fishes me
opportunity,
again, I'm
but
getting
keep
it.
an eye on the number of builds because we're getting down to the final one.
Mongrel's at
Flois
height,
going
isn't
to
he?
Pick up an elimination there, and we're doing
Was that
a really
Flois?
good job at just maintaining
No, Mongrel's
high
second
ground
at height,
control as
second
we're
height.
closing in on
Flois
our
is
top
trying to
5.
shockwave
One more
Mongrel.
player will go down, and then it's all about getting in the top
Ooh.
3. Boom, we have
Oh,
it.
nice.
Letwig, Bad Sniper, Froggy, Hen, and Flois, top 5 in game number 1.
And Lois looking to close it out 4 eliminations, but Froggy down below, you cannot count him out yet. He is right there. If he takes down Lois from below, that'll be so huge for him because he will get that shockwave launcher, get that mat refresh. Ludwig's very, very low. More likely going to be edited down. The shots come through, but no, Lois going to want to take him down. Froggy gets down. In the meantime, 1v1, Froggy versus Lois. The shockwave launcher up above.
Oh no, Mongo came third, I'm pretty sure.
But he's running out of match. 15 mils remaining.
I think Flores has got it.
He's stopping anytime soon. Going out in the zone,
yeah.
Some damage, gonna shockwave himself down. Little Mitro classic. Shotgun does come through. The shockwave is gonna send him flying through. Oh, is he gonna get the beam and he takes down Froggy for the victory royale?
Oh, nice.
Really,
Let's see the
really
leaderboard.
Good job from Flois, executing on the top-down push with the mythic weaponry, but more importantly, showing the versatility of that shockwave launcher, launching himself down and then finding a gap to launch the opponent out, tracking him and picking it up with the AR. Match number 1 is done. Fury Flois taking home the victory royale, but we'll see where the leaderboard shakes out. We're going to toss it back on over to Zeke, Shayo, and Bala.
Man, a strong start here in EU, really coming out with a nice flow. Flois finding himself the victory royale. Guys, this final fight between
Hi guys.
and Flois, both players walk into that 1v1.
Nice. We just won.
Flois.
Gonna do some squads now or something.
This is gonna,
He never won the whole tournament.
A good tone setting for the rest of the competition.
He won one of the matches.
We saw it in every region, right? 1 point matters, and that's a 4-point difference for that win. And
no, I'm watching this.
How many more games?
Versatility for Flois and how he was playing every single engagement.
Who's first?
And using his
Wow! Mongo will be top 10.
6 eliminations, 20 points, and that victory royale.
I guess he died.
Yeah, but there's also other people lurking near too, and with only the
Because he died before earlier than I thought.
I see Hen in third.
He's probably top 20.
Where's Benji fishing?
Pretty sure he died near endgame. He died before Mongo.
Sure is one. Down.
Also a couple elims to put himself in 4th place, but Kinzel 2. And then the rest of this, I think, is kind of maybe a little different.
Okay, I'm gonna do this solo.
Yeah, Mongo's 20th.
I mean, there are some
Nice.
guys who have the
Mongo's 20th.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
Ouch.
No, that's good.
Yeah, I think at the top, I mean, obviously...
Well, it is good, but I thought it would be higher than this.
But he needs to take that next step and turn this into a full-on sprint toward the end. Is this the momentum he needs to do this, though?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna play some. What are you gonna do?
I'm watching this.
I'm gonna do hype night.
Well, Benji's 24th.
As well as the points, so that's a
In a bit.
combination of the placement and elims these guys have. So Lecce got 5 points of placement that game in 22nd place and 2 eliminations. That's
Oh, Lecce's 22nd as well.
Guys, they're kind of sitting at 30th place. They don't have to go for a top 25 anymore. No one has to go for top 50. Everyone here is focused on that win, and they're just slightly behind. Still, though, really hot off the gate.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that people have to figure out on this first game. There are a lot of things and changes to what people might have been expecting.
Why did you leave? What?
Hi.
Oh, I might change the whatchamacallit then. One sec. This will. I'm gonna end the stream, guys, and hope you enjoyed and see you.